Mask off the podcast. All we do is talk real. If you know and now you know. Let's talk about it all. Talk about your
Yo. Welcome back to another episode of The Real Mask Off Podcast. You understand? Yeah. You said we know we need to.
Yeah. It's good work.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today.
You just broke your
Now
headphones.
you just ruined my intro. Now you ruined my intro. Thank you for joining us today for some unfiltered flow with some mellow minds, some chronic conversations with our herbal insight, budding ideas, half-baked thoughts. We are just two buds breaking it down and passing the knowledge to y'all. The real, only Mask Off Podcast. Are you serious? It was crooked the whole time. Cut two. There we go.
Yeah.
Take two.
We're going to edit this out.
No, we're not.
Yes, we're taking that out.
Thank you for joining us today.
Jesus Christ. That was in the red. Oh, my God.
Was that in the red?
Yeah. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. You can tell he's reading this shit. He should have memorized this before he said
I didn't. I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking at this notebook. All right. Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set.
Take two. Intro to the Real Mask Off Podcast. Thank you for joining us today for some unfiltered flow with some mellow minds, having some chronic conversation with our herbal insight, budding ideas, half-baked thoughts. We are just two buds breaking it down and passing the knowledge.
Passing it on, baby.
The Real Mask Off Podcast.
The real one.
How was that better?
That was so scripted. Let's dive right into it, man. Let's dive right into it. I know you guys keep hearing us punning off of this The Real Mask Off Podcast. You want to talk about it, Big A?
Yeah, we found out because we didn't do our due diligence.
He got a big ass.
He's got a big ass.
He got a big ass.
Yeah, people out there, there are other Mask Off podcasts.
Yes, it is.
There's another guy. And I think, two other girls doing a podcast? But we're the real one. And we are the number one podcast in Michigan. So if you want to separate us, you could just Google number one podcast in Michigan and be us.
Yeah, just put the real in front of the mask off and you know what time it is, baby, because this is what it is. Hey, I listened to those other podcasts, so they did sound pretty good, though. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah.
Hey, you missed a couple days of work today, or this week, huh?
Yeah, yes, I did. Yes.
Some family shit to do?
Yeah.
Family stuff to take care of?
I had to take my little baby girl home from college. She's ready to go home. And
forgot to let this is some homegrown.
Yeah.
We grew it in the backyard.
In Bath City.
And we're finally trying it with mineral water.
Yeah.
It makes the buds grow super stronger.
Yeah. This is
super stronger.
Super stronger. I had to take this off camera real quick. Can you get your can off? They not sponsoring us yet. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We ain't got nothing to give.
Why aren't you positive? Al Swearingen can stay here. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This is Alvin Swearingen. He's slightly different than the one from the character of the one show.
Of the one show, yeah. You know the one show he's talking about. Yeah, man. Hey, we got some juicy content for you guys today.
Dude.
You did. I said we got some juicy content going on today. Y'all heard what I had said. No, y'all didn't. I was away from the microphone over here trying to get that set up.
Well, I don't know how juicy it is. There's something something disturbing happened. The Pope died.
Who?
The Pope.
Who is that?
You don't know who the Pope is?
No, I really don't. Who is that?
In Christians.
Yeah.
What?
The last time the Pistons won a playoff game was the other Pope. 2 hours after this Pope died, they won their first playoff game in 17 years.
Really?
Is that what happened? Did that just happen again?
No, I'm saying.
Did they win the playoff game when the Pope died?
Yeah, 2 hours after. So it's the whole time he was the Pope, they never won.
Oh
Oh
shit.
wow, that whole Pope. We were winless in the playoffs.
That's terrible.
We finally won a game when he died. They say he's the last Pope. And they say that there's a lot of different writings about it, but on the Vatican walls, there's no more space for that last Pope, like the way they have it set up. So it's like this Pope and then one more Pope. They have a spot on the wall for him.
Yeah.
So a lot of people look at that as that's the end times coming because this is the last Pope. Because there'd been a guy years and years ago who wrote every Pope and who he'd be, some Nostradamus type guy, But the Pope this is what kills me. Okay, I'm Catholic.
Okay.
So just speaking through Catholics, the Pope is basically the new the man, God's number one man.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's what kills me is I'm not really Catholic anymore. I grew up Catholic, grew up going to catechism. The Pope was revered. He oversees all the Catholic Church, you know. But what kind of got me was, so right now they're going to vote on a new Pope. They have that conclave, right?
Okay.
All these cardinals sit around, they're going to vote for the new Pope. And what gets me is if this guy is the right-hand man of God, why do you seclude yourself and everything that you guys have into one area? Jesus, if we're going off what would Jesus do, he would go around and spread that. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm the righteous one. I made it to Pope. This is how I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not hide it where it's like, oh yeah, I live in this little Vatican City. It's our own little country. We have all the secrets built underneath. Wow. We have all this gold and all this priceless artwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For us to enjoy.
For them, or you?
No, for all, not for the Catholic, not for anybody, just for them themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That higher echelon.
Okay, I think I seen a video where they were celebrating
that he died.
Not like a celebration of his life, you know.
Yeah, he had the funeral this morning.
Okay, so that's what that was.
Yeah, on all the channels.
So why were they? Is like what was with the hood? With the hood, let's talk about it.
They wear some weird shit too.
That shit was weird as hell. That
clannish is it? They're clannish.
Yes, I'm like,
maybe that's where it came from. Just the word means clannish. You know, you're a clannish people. Mm-hmm. Like maybe that's so we wear hoods. We're all in a clan.
Yeah, that's wild work. I was like, what in the world is going on here? Yeah. I have to pull that up.
You talking about with the black hoods?
With the black hoods.
Yeah, that's what there's different things people say about that. I don't know if that's true through the Catholics or through some sort of different ceremony in the Vatican or what.
Hell, that's deep. Let's see if I can find the video while we're talking.
They were all dressed like Kanye's.
Yeah.
There's about 50 Kanye's at the
yeah, that right there.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
What the fuck? Hey, to each his own, gang.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So you said you're a Muslim, so you guys don't have any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I studied under Islam. Yes, for a long time I was,
but not Muslim. Practicing now.
I'm definitely not practicing. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be doing a lot of things actually.
At one point, you found
I did
Islam as
a safe haven for like I grew up in the church in what would you Kojic church upbringing, Church of God in Christ.
Oh.
And Kojic is abbreviated. I grew up in that and apostolic churches and what have you. But when I got incarcerated, I kind of was like on a soul search, like through jail. I was studying like different religions, and like the one that set the most with me was Islam, as far as like the standards that they carry themselves, the men of that culture believe, of that religion, I would say, not culture.
Do they have this hierarchy where the top hides from below?
No.
Where the top might hide, I don't know, knowledge?
No, I think in that they always want to teach. That's what I loved about Islam. I'm not gonna lie. It was more so as like it was a community of people that just was like, of people that were starving for knowledge and people that had knowledge that were starving to give it away. You know, like it was like an open book. They want you to know everything about the Quran. They want you to know the surahs, what time to pray, and everything like that. And it was like organized. Everything was like about organization, structure. You know, having a solid foundation.
I would think Christians as a whole would want that too, and as you know, with the Bible. But when being Catholic, like when I was growing up, you had that hypocritical thinking where at one point, if you had tattoos, you know, you could be going to hell.
Yeah.
But as time went on and as we're getting older, I'm, you know, becoming a teen, then they kind of switch it up. They have a youth leader or whatever. He's got tattoos and an earring. He looks like Mr. Clean. You know, Jordan's big at the top. Like, you know what I mean? Yep. So it's like culture changes. And then it's like, you can have tattoos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's because the people in charge changed. The people who became in charge, they didn't keep the. See, that's one thing about like what I learned with church, and that's the only thing that like bothered me with church. I don't study under any religion now. Yeah, I believe in community and unity. You know, I believe in unity and love.
And us more so.
Then
like we are. I hate sometimes. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I hate sometimes to say like we are gods because that kind of seems
like we're trying to
too much.
Yeah,
but we are all one in a sense.
We are, and because this is my firm belief in that. Right, I believe like religion does touch on a lot of structural basis to help people have foundation, because that's what I think a lot of people lack is the foundation and structure. So whatever, that's what like Islam was for me, and I think that's what religion is for people that are not able to delegate their rights and wrongs in that aspect and be held accountable. So I think what ends up happening is a lot of people join religious groups and get to a point where now they're feeling as though it's like gang mentality. If you're not Christian,
it's clicky. Politics has been that way. You can't have conversations anymore because if you're right and I'm left, if I'm left leaning and you're right leaning, you're too ingrained and fanatically as a team base, you know, that you've won and I'm wrong and I'm an idiot. So now all conversations out the window. There's not going to be a compromise.
Yeah, and
religion's done that forever.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Like me and you talked about this off script, off camera, where we was like, you know, if the left wing and the right wing are just wings, what are they a wing to? The American people. That's the whole bird, right? So you got to flap together. So the left is just doing all the flapping, or the right is, you know, like, you know, in that aspect, in the visual aspect, I did that with the wrong hand. Don't get that shit twisted. I know my right from my left. I was using that as an example. But for the, you know, the audio, you guys didn't see me just flapping my right arm when I said left. But you know, it's just like that, just that understanding that stuck out with me from the beginning of time. And I think that's what realistically, you know, built our bond too, because you had similar beliefs. Like you grew up in the background of something with like a direction. Yeah. Right. And I did as well. My parents, like, and this is a funny story too, because my dad grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
And my mom was Christian.
And it's weird because those are all different.
Yeah.
Very different, especially in a home setting.
Yeah. And my dad, like, so my dad ended up transforming into a Christian belief with his wife. You know, he didn't, but they never forced religion on us. But they just said, like, if you're in our house, you got to go to church. Yeah. It was like that kind of thing. They never said, this is what you're going to be your belief. They left us to believe what we want to believe.
You grew up somewhat like Tech Nine. In the one song, he's like, my dad was a devout Muslim, my mom Christian. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? In that household where it's like very top tier of how they want their versions of way you should live, but somehow they make it work. Yeah. You know what I mean? They make it work for their kids. Yeah. That's the best part about it.
Yeah. I like the fact that my parents, like, you know, guys, I always shoot shots at my parents, like, you know, but I know one thing about my parents, they never like forced a belief. They hey, look, like what's right with you is what's going to work for you. Like, I know what I believe. I know what gets me where I need to be. But you believe what you need to believe to get you in the right direction. You know what I mean?
So like when I think of the Catholics in general is where, so the Pope will say something like this, this past Pope Francis who died was known for being more liberal as far as gay people goes. But what he says is, yeah, it's okay to be gay, but it's a sin. You know what I mean? We'll still take you. It's basically the way I looked at it is, we'll take your donations and your money and your support, but you're still a sinner, and sinners burn in hell.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just still weird to me. And I know all different religions have some sort of
scare tactics.
Yeah, whether it's maybe, like I said, tattoos for a moment, or way you live your life, any type of lifestyle.
Having children out of wedlock.
Yeah, that. What is the reference to everybody else, especially here in America, maybe like my age and stuff, is there reference to Islam than just Farrakhan? You know what I mean?
That's like being like a
just being almost like I'm not saying like
the
a
top
pope.
minister,
just like as some sort of the hierarchy, or is he just that branch off of it?
No, he's like that's like his practice of Islam. He's not the head of Islam. He's the head of the Nation of Islam, NOI, that organization. You know what I mean?
Which is under some sort of Islam.
It's like a branch of Islam. Like it's
like Christians have their different branches. Islam, people have to realize there are so many different branches. That's why it frustrates us when people say like all Muslims are bad or this or that or all terrorists, because you can say the same then with all Christians.
It's
but
the same
it's just
thing with
all levels
all
to
religions.
Yeah,
it's with all religions, and that's because there's a whole bunch of people built up with different understandings of what the truth is,
or their what do you call it, the way they read, whether it's the Bible or the Quran, their interpretation.
Yep, all based on interpretation.
And then they get clicky.
Yeah, and they get gang. Like, so are you blood? Are you Crip?
Yeah.
That's what that comes off to me.
Are you Sunni?
Yeah, are you Shiite? Exactly.
Yeah. Are you Lutheran?
Yeah.
Are you Catholic?
Yeah. Are you Baptist?
Yeah.
It's those different like factions in it all. Like everything in my journey of studying religion, I felt as though like I noticed a lot of similarities in each, right? Because everybody goes into it trying to point out the negatives or the opposites of the opposing whatever belief, right?
Yeah.
Just to prove the point of their belief being the belief, right? So I just went in there with the open-mindedness of like understanding each religion for what it was asking, like not just like the interpretation, like what you should live, because all of the religions are basically just supposed to be like core values of how a person should live, like with one God, and it's like love and unity and family and all of this other stuff like that, creating and being good, to the neighbor, like being more involved with each other. So and then I came up with this interpretation here from it. It was like, if you if God put a piece of him in everybody, no one is the same, right? But everyone has a piece of God. If all of us came together, right, that means we are in the image of God in his full form.
Yeah, it'd be like, as I say, if you put a number on it, you're 0.01, I'm 0.002,
exactly.
0.003,
yeah, so on and so forth, and then all of the numbers together is the whole of God, right?
Or it just keeps going infinity because
God is in infinity,
and
because God is infinity, but we're all a part of God's creation, so all in unison, all one. If we were all one, then we all will be God in flesh.
Yeah, that's why I think they say work on yourself first, but not in the selfish way.
Yeah,
in the selfless way.
In the selfless way.
Because if I fix me, and you fixed you, and Bishop somehow, some way fixes himself,
because you know how hard that is, right?
We
Bishop?
would be all on the same page and understanding, and getting it.
Oh man, yeah, that's legit. Like, and I do believe that, and I think that that's the real reason why, like, Cause like there's this guy, we ain't gonna say his name, but he say quit playing with me on my mama a lot on the internet. He got this you ever heard of the idea of like the firmament, like being in a dome? It's like the earth's not round, it's flat, and we're in a dome.
Like the Simpsons?
Yeah. Like we're in a dome. And
Okay.
So like what if we were already in hell in the journey to get out of hell? But he has this theory though, right? He says like the whole ideal of it was like you don't there is no heaven. You don't want to go to heaven or hell because both of them is a ideal of a person that is stuck in this firmament that came here and played God on here. But like the true God was like these are all spawns of self, oneself on here trapped. So all of us need to figure this out, you know what I'm saying, in order to get out of this trap to be in like all eternity. But right.
Yeah.
So like if you look at it like a universe, a multiverse type dynamic, that there's someone that's put here as a trap, he creates on this his own ideal, and everybody praises that person as God, and he gives you the idea of this is the way shit goes. So like he made heaven in his own trap, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you
heaven in the flesh,
yes,
it's almost
like
Luciferian, where that light is there, but it's a fake light. Yeah, it's going to manipulate, your flesh in the sense of your wants, not your needs, your excessiveness.
Yeah. Like that's
it's a bad matrix then.
Yeah,
this is not a good matrix.
It's not a good matrix. There is no like good narrative because everything on this ideal is wrong. That's the reason why you're trapped here. You know what I'm saying? It's like a vicious cycle. You just continue to relive it because you
got to figure it out. You got to stop the cycle.
Yeah.
So we stop the cycles individually. Before, like we said, whether it's abusive person, father abuses you, and so on and so on. You got to stop that cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to break the cycle. You have to break the chain.
So you have to do it in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I say, like, I think people out there just get it twisted when they talk about working on you. Doesn't mean necessarily, you just working out, doing things for you. You know what I mean? Like, living your best life.
Yeah.
It's really not. The best way to live is probably more selfless, getting yourself at least spiritually and physically aligned.
Yeah.
But,
you definitely do. Because so like,
you all right over there?
That's that good homegrown.
Yeah.
That's that good homegrown. When it make you still cough after you're done smoking it. We're smoking cigarettes now, and it's like, Jesus. All right, but yeah, back in the jig of it, like, because I like this topic here, man. Because I think a lot of people don't understand the true essence of unity. In everybody's practice, everyone teaches that. That's in Islam and Christianity, in Catholic, it's love and unity. It's like believing that there's just one God. There is a prophet that gets you there, that teaches you the fundamentals. It's like basically having like a general manager of a store, the owner owns a business. Everything has like a type hierarchy, and that's what it seems like. It's everything is manifested under like there's a guide, a teacher, someone that gives you like a level of understanding, and at the same time, we have like how can I say it? Like I'm high as hell.
What?
See, it's just like
you all right?
Yeah, I just
lose
lost
train of thought. We're not cutting this out.
I lost whole train of thought. I don't even know where I was going with that.
The unity of people.
The unity of people. Yes. Okay. Yes. And that's and I'm not going to be able to get it back the way that I had it in my mind the first way. That's the problem with me. I think my thoughts out before I say them, and sometimes I'll lose it because I'm still going in my head before I actually speak it out. But it's like if we focus more on creating value in each other, right? Seeing the value
just in oneself.
Each other. And, and like, because the way that you do that is by, I believe, is if you if I see the best in everybody else, that means that I'm living my best, right? Because like I don't. If you're looking for the best out of someone else, you can't possibly be out here moving in a negative energy aspect, if that makes sense.
Do you think rather than maybe looking best in somebody else, we get it twisted? I think sometimes life is like a movie every day.
Yeah.
You get up, it's different scenes, and there's always more than one person. So you're just trying to live that journey and put yourself as, oh, okay, I'm here right now. We don't necessarily always go, I mean, people do, we go around, angry about other people, but a lot of times it's angry about the situation.
Yeah.
The work I got to do. Oh, I got to do this today.
Yeah.
I got to do that today.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm doing more than this guy over here.
Yeah.
You're just going to live sour and angry and negative all the time.
Yeah, we even people that
your bubble around you will feed off that, and will be like that too.
Yep.
We see that firsthand
every day.
We see that firsthand
every
day.
We
can change everybody's mind with a smile on a face.
Yep.
And get the guys going, and try to, I probably walk around more with the resting bitch face.
That's because you got like the dad vibe around there.
But that's how that's where I have to change. That's where I at least know. I try to know. That's where I say when you have to take care of yourself, and it's selfless.
Yeah.
So I have to point out the bad things in me, and the ones I don't, I hope my family points out or my friends point out.
Yeah.
So that I can move forward and not get an attitude about it or anything. And not
be like that.
Oh, fuck Austin. Like he ain't fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we are.
None of us are, right.
Sometimes we need to hear that, hey, you're acting like a dick right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're supposed to be able to have that without feeling like you're being judged. Because like we also have to, and this is the person that is being the asshole. You have to, if you're saying you're a friend, if you're saying you're a family member, you have to be open to understand where you are, noticing what you're doing too in the midst of doing it, and don't take it like someone's trying to tear you down. If you're being an asshole, just being a straight up asshole for no reason, then like what do you think is the energy that you're asking for?
Well, you don't even have to go at them like that, because we don't even do that with the guys. If we know, me and you'd be like, hey, you see so and so is acting salty, and be like, all right, let's go out. Be like, hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah,
what's
going on? Let's talk about it. Yeah, because
you just know, but you don't have to come at person
with that negative energy, because
you're already gonna lose.
Yeah, because they're already there. So like if I'm on fire, if I'm on fire in there, then like how do you approach that person that's on fire? Well, you go up to him and recognize, like, hey, what's going on, bro? You all right? Just approach them with a more understanding. Like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, let's talk about it, because sometimes that's what they need, is somebody to vent to.
What? So in your analogy, it'd be like, if you're on fire, hey, why the fuck you on fire? You're on fire.
You fucking idiot. Why are you on fire?
Just get a blanket and stop, drop, and roll. Try to help him.
Right. It's there. Exactly.
Try to see.
You just like add more insult to it. You're not helping a bird.
Yeah, you already know he's angry. I look at it like this. Everybody's got a fucking story. Yeah. Everybody's got something to tell. Everybody's got something they're going through. So at work, you could be the dick and angry all the time, or you could just kind of... We thankfully don't have many people, 20 or so that it's a little easier. It can be more personal too, so it helps with people.
Yeah,
that helps with at least kind of. I mean, if you're in charge of 100 people or 150 people, that's a lot harder, a lot more personalities to deal with, a lot less personal you could even be. I think people got to understand that too, even as you're out there every day working, that can't just always be about you. Yeah. Sometimes you're the supporting character throughout that day. You're not the main character. That's a lot of times you're the supporting. If you're looking at life as you wake up and you're Bill Murray and Groundhog's Day, or it's just, you go to work, it seems repetitive and all that, you just have to understand that, maybe I'm just a supporting cast. So when this other person comes by me and needs something, I'm just here to help or pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what, like, man, that's some real shit, and that in itself is like a whole nother like topic we could definitely dive off into too, because like, you know, just understanding that, and I think prison, like, you know, more so like helped me out with that understanding, you know.
Hi, Bishop. We're supposed to do this shit before the show.
No, we're keeping all of this
How's
in there.
that? Better?
Yeah.
Well, I got my shit over here too. See, people, this is step by step how you do a podcast. Trial and error
Every day. Yes.
The logo is right here. I better stop doing that. That's gonna be a meme.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
Hey,
how many views are we to get on this?
Like
4 views.
That's cool. Yeah.
3 here,
and then one more person,
and then our audio and us producing it. Would that be the 4th view?
That means there's one
That's
person.
terrible, man. You have no
okay.
positive influence on what we're doing or nothing. America knows. How are we the number 1 podcast then, Bishop? Explain that.
Yeah, explain that, Bishop.
Number 1 podcast in Michigan. You can hear me. This is when you fix this. Give me another mic.
I have you turned up as high as I can for his microphone.
Can I have a better mic system then?
I don't know why his is completely fine and yours sucks.
Really? How's this?
You just need to make sure it's by your mouth.
Yeah, that's what she said.
No, she said in the mouth.
Oh, there we go. How's that? Level's good?
Yeah.
Everything's good?
Yeah, you're green.
All
you're
right.
green. You're green on the spot.
Yeah.
Talking like that, it won't be.
Like this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that was great.
Talk into the mic.
Yep, that's perfect right there.
Into the mic.
Yep, you're green right there all the way.
All right.
Fire stick. Hey, I did want to jump back off and tell you what we were talking about. We were talking about how in the workplace you're dealing with different personalities. Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like and I'm not glorifying prison, but I think prison, I used to have this saying back when I first got out of prison. It's like, bro, I dealt with 2,200 different personalities a day, right?
Yeah.
And
is that including depths?
Like, yeah.
Or is that just the guys you think?
Like
that's
a
different.
That was the inmate count, like on how many people we fed. In that day, we had 2,200 orders.
So you're saying like when you're actually working?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I worked in the kitchen.
Okay,
right?
So you're actually confronting each one of those guys.
Each prison level too. You know what I'm saying?
People yelling out the window.
You're right. I got
2,200 people.
2,200, yeah, 2,200 different.
Really quick, explain it to me. What's it look like? Give me a visual. Is it a chow line like in a cafeteria?
Oh yeah,
are you serving slop? Bam, right on the trail.
No, I did. There was a transition in that too, because once upon a time the food was actually decent, as decent as it could be for people that are incarcerated, right? Like the food, like counterpart, like from transitioning from jail food to prison food. Oh, it was a huge difference. It was heaven. It was like heaven, right? But then like the companies changed, right? They changed the company. I'm not going to say their name, and the food quality went down. Right, but it was never like slop, right? Well, less like breakfast slop.
Not like in the movies.
No, nothing like that.
Not like you just get a bowl of a tray of slop. They never even give it's some sort of liquid on a tray.
Yeah,
that's divided. It'll have divides.
Now they do have that,
but they put all that liquid on all the divides and then bread.
Yeah, no, that's not. No, that's only in the movies. You're not gonna do that because that's another inmate. On the other side of that, damn, you're gonna just put that shit on my plate. Like, you have to see me in the yard, idiot. Like,
you have to see everybody.
Yes, you have to see everybody in the yard. You fuck around walking to the dead man line, like, you know what I'm saying, or anything that you're doing.
Slamming that shit on their plate.
Yeah, just
move
slam
on.
that shit on. Get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? All right. yeah, all right. I'll see you. I know what unit you in, dummy. You know, so I'm gonna get at you later.
It's gonna be a hard day on the yard.
Yeah,
I got 22,000. Oh, wait, 21,199. yourself.
2,199.
Oh yeah, 22,000.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. So like, it's just like from that understanding and being able to like, you know, still being a personable person, being the person that I was inside of there. Like I did have my moments when I was a bad dude, but like more so when I'm talking about the 2,200 different personalities, that was more so when I was more focused in on like getting out, coming out here and what I was going to do. I was devising my plan of when I get out. Right. Yeah. So I'll start paying more attention to my environment, if that made sense.
Yeah.
Like I was a problem in the product at one time, and then at this point in my bit, I'm on my way out, and I'm paying a little bit more attention to my environment, like what's going on. So I got a little bit. I'm a personable person. I always wanted to stay true to self. That's one thing for certain. Two things for sure. I didn't want to lose myself in there. Become a part of that because I was 18 getting locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, so I'm becoming a man inside of the penitentiary. Exactly. So I'm not even 24. Like we both know how to understand you haven't even fully developed until you're about 24 years old as a male. You know, honestly,
yeah,
still
well, 25, your brain develops or whatever it is.
Exactly. So having that understanding, it got me to a point where I was just like, okay, I need to figure out a way to elevate. You know, outside of this place, and not be caught up in the politics of it. And I can't take full credit of that. My last bunkie that I got when I got to Carson City, when my level dropped and I went to level 2 finally, because I went back up to level 4. You know, I got in a little situation in unsecure level 1, and that's a whole different story, a whole different time. But end up get my bunkie. We was in this under the same Islamic group, and he kicked it to me. He had life. He had already been in there 30 years, and he's still fighting, right? And he kicked it to me on the level of like, man, you know, hey, you actually have an out date, you know, you wild for what? You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got to prove nothing to nobody in here. You know what I'm saying? It's just like realistically, you need to understand who you are, because you about to go back out there in that world as a person with a jacket. You know, you're gonna have a jacket, and you still young, bro. Like you still have an opportunity to go out there and change your shit.
Yeah.
And I took that shit to heart. You know what I'm saying? I ain't instantly changed. It was a process, but that's when it clicked. That's when you
started seeing things, moves done differently.
Yeah, and that's when I was like, I can operate differently, because at the end of the day, at this point, I had a respect in there. It wasn't like I was rock boss, none of that. I'm not never gonna try to portray like I was something like that. Like, but people know me that was in there. You know what I'm saying? And Bacon Hill wasn't no one that like he was a playover on, if that makes sense. And I also like I rotated with a gang as well prior to me even going in the prison. So like, you know, it just those different complexes, you know, it molded me into an individual where I was like more understanding. Like that's like, who the fuck was you before you even got in here? Like I was always cool with everybody, like talking to everybody. I could deal with anybody, right? I could have conversations with anybody. And that's what like I started in there doing. Like, yeah, man, it ain't necessarily all that drama, like just the slowing you down, that's hindering you. Like what's gonna elevate you, you know?
But doing that in there in that situation to say you're opening up more, or trying to maybe hear from others more.
Yeah,
that's way harder.
Yeah, because
than
there's
out
people
here in the free world. That's some people got issues, serious issues.
But
you run into that out here.
That's what I'm about to say. Actually, it's actually the same.
Yeah.
Because like, and this is no knock. Like the men in there, them brothers in there, they way more emotional. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like everybody temper tantrums. Like the real aggressive ones, you gotta that's a temper tantrum, bro. It's not really gangster. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it's illuminated, because you a big dude. You know what I'm saying? You just like, that's your defense mechanism. You know what I mean? So there's people that's actually reading that shit way
you're
deeper.
Really kind of just a little boy inside.
Yeah.
Scared.
You ain't grew up
shivering.
Yeah, and that's what it was for me, because it's like that's what
you got to shed that.
Yeah, that's the whole point, man. Like the taking the mask off. That's what it was for me in there. You know what I mean? It's like I had that imagery where I was the dude in there, like, nigga, what's up? Yeah. You know, like that was the mannerisms. We was on tip. We was doing little stupid shit in there. Like we have stories that we're gonna talk about. This well, my stories will coincide with that I can pinpoint those little different stories throughout the podcast. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, do you think though that you have one or two options as a person in there? Either you realize to break yourself down, or somebody's going to break you down.
Yeah,
you know, something's going to happen.
So there's going to be
the cosmos is going to break you down.
Yeah, you're going to have a reality check.
Okay,
in there fast. And it's not like either you give it to yourself or somebody else will give it to you, because you can't get lost in transaction. Like, even if you
I'm sorry. I'll just keep.
No, go ahead.
You got me thinking so much.
Yeah, let's kick it.
You say that with the reality check, and then that's different for everybody too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he goes in, Bishop goes in, you know, at 19, or I go in at 48.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Let's just say 5 years each, nothing. Whatever gets you 5 years each, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
No sexual, you know what I'm saying? Nothing that's going to put an actual
target on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our realities are totally different, right?
Yeah. It is.
I mean, for me to him, compare 19-year-old white boy Bishop goes in there, or old white man.
Yeah, it could be the same parallel. It's all based on who you are as an individual. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I recognized in there.
So you think that a lot of the bullshit, a lot of the shit talking outside of that is just kind of over dramatized sometimes?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the prison isn't a bad place or
prison is a terrible place.
Or a terrible place.
It is.
What I'm saying is
it depends on the person.
It's more reasonable as long as you're not touching kids or doing anything out of pocket in those senses.
Or you just look like a little bitch.
But then also too, man, we see shit where cats from the West Coast.
Yeah. If you look at it like this, so like,
that's different, West and East.
Yeah. If you look like prey, you know, they're gonna try you. But if you like bout what you standing on, if you're saying I'm not with that weird shit.
But the hard thing is if nobody even knows you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's different, right? Compared to you going in where you might have known somebody, or somebody else going in and being like, oh shit, my brother was here.
Yeah.
Or my neighbor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, like, I mean, everybody gonna know somebody in there. That's the funny part. And that's a true saying. Somebody told me that when I was in the county jail. Right? It was like, yeah, you're gonna go in there, you're gonna see people you know. Like, I got told in the county jail, like, see, they painted horror stories in the county jail, and I'm young, I'm 18, I'm locked up.
Scare you?
Oh, fuck, I was scared, trying to scare me. I was scared as hell. I already watched Oz. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I'm finna get raped. I'm a pretty boy, you know, so I'm gonna have to fight for my ass every day. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was my thought process. I was literally scared for my life. I was like, I'm gonna have to go in here and get the biggest knife. I'm gonna end up here with life in prison because I'm gonna have to stab every motherfucker because I'm 135 pounds. I'm a little light-skinned dude with long hair. They finna try to take my boo ways. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that was like my thought process. But like when I got in there, like I seen people, but I had people in the county jail like was like telling me like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're gonna see people in there that you know, but don't run and be cool with them because you don't know what they involved with, right? And they was solely right, you know. They was right. When I first got into quarantine, my actual barber that I had, right, I hadn't seen him in a minute, so I had started going to another barber because he was never there and he wasn't answering the phone no more. I didn't know bro was locked up, right? So this is before I get locked up, but now I'm locked up. I'm in quarantine now, and I look crazy. I'm gonna post a picture of my intake picture on here when we do the edits and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm posting,
give everybody a visual,
like a visual context of it. Yeah, like of it. Like I look terrible. But then like my barber was in there. I'm sitting in there on intake. I'm just sitting outside where I guess the barber shop is, and he come out there and I hear my name, my street name, Ace. You know what I'm saying? I'm already like sitting back, like, hold on, yo, nobody know me up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ace, my looks, my name. I'm like, dog, what the? He like, what's up? He like, come on. Like, let me cut your hair. I'm like, hell, nigga, they just told me to sit here. Can I move? He's like, yeah. If they say anything, like I'll just say you had a barber detail. I went in there and got my hair cut. You know what I'm saying? But I already took my intake picture and all that other stuff. I was just sitting there waiting to be processed. Like I was at this point, I was waiting for them to bring me out my duffel bag with my uniforms and everything else. I already got like dressed out, so like I'm in my like prison. I'm waiting to go to my unit. And that's when he cut my hair. He cut me up real quick. Boom. I'm like, damn, like my barber, like, so that was the first person I seen in there that I knew as soon as I got in there. Like, so that's a true statement. Like you did get to see people that you know in there, you know, but I also seen somebody I went to middle school with. And I seen him. I had sat on it on a couple days, and they had told me, like, you know, when I got to the prison, when I first rode into this prison, by this time, I was going, like, my level had dropped. I was going to level 1, so I rode into Carson City, secure level 1, right? And when I got there, I was like, our unit went to chow first. So what they told us, like, when you go to chow, you get to go to the back 40 in the yard before the yard actually opens. All the units have to go to chow before the whole yard opens. But you can go into the back 40 when your unit goes to chow. When you're done eating, you can go to the back 40, which is a big ass like track of 40 yard track that you get to walk around, right? The weight pit and everything else is back there. So like that's what guys do. So, but there was like this handball court before you got to the back 40, and anybody that's ever been to Carson City Secure Level 1 know what I'm talking about. It's a handball court, and there's like a bench right there. So like I came by the chow, and I was gonna wait for, you know what I'm saying, one of my homies to come out of the one unit, because I seen him when I got there, right? But because they had yard when I had first rode in, so I seen he was in the other unit. I was just gonna wait for him to come out. We was gonna hit the weight pit, work out, boom. So I'm sitting in the area, like on a bench where the handball court is, right? And it's like a little walkway that goes from the yards where all the units are, that goes into the back 40. So but there's like a little area where a wall is where they play handball court. Mm-hmm. And it's a bench that's right there, but it's a walkway. So it's like a lane, right? And they call that area Lover's Lane, right? I didn't know none of this. I just rode into this prison and shit. So I'm just sitting at this damn seat. Luckily, my homeboy unit came after mine, so he already knowing to come. He like, hey, bro, hey, don't sit there. Don't ever sit there. So I'm like, wow, what up? He like, that's called Lover's Lane. I'm like, fuck, nigga, you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, okay, nigga, I ain't gonna sit there no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a no area. You feel me? So boom, we go in the back 40. We walk in the back 40, and as we done, like when the yard actually opened up, we coming out. And I see my homeboy, right, that I was in middle school with. Like, I known this brother for a long time when I was, you know, we went to middle school, elementary, you know, boo. No, just middle school and high school together. But I see him, you know what I'm saying, and he's sitting over there in Lover's Lane. I'm like, oh, shit, man. I can't walk it. You know, he hasn't noticed me yet, right? He has not noticed me. Yeah, and at this point, I'm taking my GED, so I got school. So I got class the next morning. So he's in the hallway. I see him now. Mind you, I'm I know you, but I don't just walk up on you and say nothing. So he know me, but I have not said nothing to him yet. And then you was just sitting in Lover's Lane. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't say nothing to him. I see him in school, and I'm like, I'm about to tell him, like, my dog told me, like, hey, bro, don't sit over there. You know what I mean? That's Lover's Lane. But as I see him in the school, he walking up, and then this dude walk up, and they kiss the motherfucker in the mouth. I'm like, oh, so you already knew about it. You know, now I'm glad I ain't say shit. You know what I'm saying? But he sees me. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
He sees me, and he's like, hey, bro, are you Austin? And I'm like, yeah. And he like, hey, he says our middle school. And I'm like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? I don't fuck around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm making that be known, because I can't even be seen talking to you. I don't need that impression around this bitch that I fuck around. I don't fuck around. And I made that straight up known. And he like, oh, no, bro. He's like, it ain't nothing like that. I said, for sure, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, but if I see you out here in the free world, because you in level 1, that means you got to outdate. If I see you out there, bro, don't be around what I'm around, bro, because I'm gonna out your ass. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit. Like if I see you out here,
that's the rules.
Yeah, he said dog turned him out. I don't give a fuck.
What? Lover's Lane. Is that like a red light district? Do I go sit at Lover's Lane if I'm telling people I'm available? Mm-hmm. Is that what that is? Mm-hmm. Am I available to just anybody who walks by?
Oh yeah, I guess. So whatever you interested in, if they want to holler, they go holler. If you sit in that area.
Oh, that's terrible.
I don't know how that process works. I never stuck around. That was my first day and the only time I've ever sat in that area. I sat there and I got luck. Like I said, luckily.
But I'm just saying, everybody's got to walk by it, right?
Yeah. To get to the back 40, you walk right past it. It's where the bench was, where that bench was, that particular bench. Yeah, because it's like the handball court is behind the bench.
Yeah,
but like it's a bench that sits there, and there's a walkway that you walk. So like there's a walkway right here. It's all 4 units on this side, and then the chow hall is at the end of it, and in between, like where the last unit ends, and the chow hall is a walkway. And over there in this little cubby area right there is where the handball court is. So that back wall is
so it's in the back little set.
Yeah, because it's where the back 40. Stuff. It's a walkway to the back 40.
Yeah, but they could do whatever back there hidden and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
It's a little,
Oh.
So, yeah, you know, so.
Hey, what, people people got negative stories. Do you have a positive story? Do you have a happiest day other than your release date?
Oh, in prison?
Yeah. Do you have a day where you're like, do you ever sit back and remember a day other than obviously the release date, but you're like, damn, that was a great day. I remember that day.
Yeah. Yeah. No? I mean, in prison?
Yeah.
No.
Not what?
No, it's not a day it's not a day that, that it wasn't a day in there that like we, it was like
where something was special. Anybody got, nothing?
No, like I mean, yeah, like not necessarily like the visiting. When you got
visits, maybe
visit days would be the best,
Yeah.
Where you interacted with people that you actually know, that's the thing. Like when I where like my family ever came up to see me, that was like the best day because it left you on a high, but like it was also like the worst day too when they left. You know what I mean? That shit hurt. Like you got to see them walk away, and then because you got to sit in there, and then you got to go through the process getting dressed out to get back out there and in the yard and go back to your reality. But I would say just the visit days necessarily. It wasn't because every day you're on like alert though, like so that just constant always watching your back shit.
Yeah,
just
always
because
like head on a swivel.
Yeah, because I didn't notice at one point, but like developing in time, there was guys that will like even have a problem with you just because you look better than them, right? Yeah. That was the weirdest shit ever, and that's what I meant by a lot of shit was like feminine, but like like that's what like dudes was like not rocking with you because you look better than them, and you're not even paying attention to that. Like you in here with a bunch of dudes. I don't give a damn.
That's so weird.
It is some super weird shit. You know what I mean? And that's what I meant. Like it's like
high school.
It is. It really is, bro. And that's what I mean. Like and I'm not saying no shot on prison because it's like really.
It's like a high school mentality.
It's really dangerous in there. But at the same time, it's like
emotional level. Though you said that earlier.
Yeah,
though. It's just that emotional level. That's why probably you do bad things when you do something emotional. Rob a bank, rob somebody, knock over something. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like that's par for the course.
Yeah, it definitely is. And a lot of people in there, they don't really like too much, like get a chance to take their mask off in there and be who they are because who they truly are some fucked up individuals. And they don't understand that, hey, you can change.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that they can change. You can. And like on every level of change, you have to be the change, but you have to change it within self. And a lot of people just don't want to take that actual reality check. And that's what happened. And I can tell you when it happened for me. It wasn't when I had the conversation. It was when I was in the hole for those 45 days, right? I got locked in segregation for 45 days. And in that 45 days, it was like you in a cell, in a box. You don't get no outside time. It was on like They gave you 1 hour, but if it was like doing anything outside, and we in Michigan, if it did anything outside, you wasn't going out there. They shut the yard down. So that 1 hour day, you locked down for 24 hours a day. You know, if it rains, no, you can't go outside because you're in a cage, inside of a cage.
Yeah,
inside of a cage. You know, what's a triple entendre? You know, but it was just that, you know, I was sitting in there and you were like, we used to pass books down the aisleway and stuff like that, and to like keep us like a sane, you know, in there. But like I had a moment where I was like feeling like I was going crazy, like the walls was like caving in on me and shit.
Yeah,
and I was like, it was like fucking me up, and I was just like, man, like who the fuck are you? And you know, and I answered myself. It was like a real life trip. Like I was like, you know, what do you want to be? And it's just like, I just want to be better. You know, I just want to be a better version of myself. And I always want to be just like trying to give my best. And that shit can weigh on you, because I did bring that out here. And I can honestly say that it's a journey sometimes with trying to stay focused on the original plan when life constantly keeps throwing roadblocks at you. And that's where you have to gain the mental strength in knowing that all of these things are just something preparing you for where you truly deserve to be at, like where you are supposed to be at. It's gonna happen.
Good, bad, or whatever.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. But you create those narratives by the decisions that you make.
Yeah.
And the faster that you're able to recognize that and start living your life in that aspect, in that entity that we were saying off in the beginning of the podcast, is that like if you work on self and being more selfless, right? So you work on self, creating the negative characteristics of self.
Yeah.
And in that instance, worry about being less worried about yourself, but more so about your community. And if everyone can think like that, the world will literally change.
Yeah, you're right.
If you move in that in the option of doing for one another what you would like to be done for you, and everyone
that
thought like
rule.
that. Yeah, I mean, and it's like people have a hard time with just accepting reality, accepting the fate of their life and the decisions that they make. And all you have to do is you don't have to be real with no one but yourself.
Yeah.
Wake the fuck up and recognize where the fuck you fucked up at. And get your shit together.
You understand that, people?
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Listen to us. Listen to yourselves. Listen to the higher selves. You know, we got some more juicy shit coming for you guys in the upcoming episodes. But we want to go ahead and jump off into that One Dead and Alive. You got yours ready?
Oh.
Or did you have another portion? Did you want to go off in it? And are you guys satisfied with what we talked about here today? Type in and let us know in the comments, because we really want to know. We want your feedback. We want your understanding. And this is a community. We're trying to build here something real, and we want you guys to be a part of this.
What do you want to hear us talk about? Anything like that, please let us know in the comments. Hopefully all our links will be there. Email us.
Yeah.
Email us
personally. Yeah.
We want to interview real people with real issues.
Yeah.
And maybe you might want to get your story out there. We have a little format we're working on for interviewing people. Some of it is standard. Some of it is a little different.
Yeah.
But we feel like, at least I feel like that all the other podcasts out there and everything out there is corporatized and influxed with all types of people that just are not like us.
They're not.
You know, I hate to say
shout out to Kendrick.
Once again, they're just not like us.
Every episode, Kendrick, you need to fuck with your boys.
Hey, I want to say this though. You know how we're saying prisons like I don't know if I have one dead or alive right now, but I do. I'll tell you a little story, because you know you say prisons like high school. When I was on the fire department, it was not
another fire.
No, this is not going to be any negative story or anything. Leave us on a high note.
Okay.
It'd be a happy story.
Are you sure? It's because every prison, every fucking fire story you ever told me, bro's been crazy.
No, we'll leave it on a high note. I promise you. But Bishop's mad at my mic the way it is. Is that better? Is that better, son?
I mean, you're talking green, though.
All right. No, he didn't like the angle.
Yeah. The visual. You can see yourself.
I think that the fire department was like a fraternity. It was like college. Some, especially early on, when I was on it in Detroit. I don't know how it is now or anything like that. But I remember a time, it's probably the best day I ever had on the job was, I'd say 2002. I was running at Engine 32 at Jefferson and Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, the 5th precinct was across the street.
Okay.
I don't think that's there anymore. I think there's something else over there.
I don't know. I've been out here in the suburbs
Was that
so long.
St. Jean and Jefferson?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's July 2nd. So we'd work a day, off a day. The calendar, the way the fire department calendar was a 6-day calendar. You were assigned a unit, a number, and then a letter, and that determined how you worked. So it wasn't a 7-day calendar. It was a 6-day calendar, and days rotated around. So if you worked even days, you would never work an odd day that month, and vice versa. If you worked odd days, you would never work an even day, you know? So it was like July 2nd, and the police are going up and down. This is back, like I said, 2002-ish, maybe 3, something like that. Police are going around. They're raiding party stores. They're raiding Coney Islands. There was a Coney Island right there at Connor and Jefferson.
Yeah.
And they're raiding all these spots for illegal fireworks. Because remember back then, like, you couldn't have anything but like sparklers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing could fly off the ground. Nothing could explode, whatever that shit was.
Yeah.
Couldn't have bottle rockets.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't have M80s were a big thing.
Yeah.
You couldn't have even firecrackers.
No.
Those were gone. You had jumping jacks that would fizzle out. They go fizzle out. Or you'd have them cheap ass smoke bombs. Purple would come out for like a split minute. And pop. Those were probably the best. Or snakes.
Yeah.
Light them, get them real hot. Let it burn around. Or the tank.
Yeah.
Like the little tank. That was the best of. That was Michigan 4th of July's for many years. That's it.
Yeah,
Sparklers, tanks, snakes.
Shit, unless you was in the hood.
You know? Yeah, I mean, everybody went to Ohio and got shit. I'm just saying what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, at that time.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to. Because I did overnight in jail in St. Clair Shores for illegal fireworks. I had a warrant out of East Point for a ticket for illegal fireworks. I had bottle rockets. Then they caught me driving.
Oh, God.
Locked me up. I could get rain the next morning, pay the fine and all that crap, but whatever.
Yeah.
But that was back a long time ago. So these cops, they're hitting all these spots. And, you know, I think at Jefferson and Hart was just a dead end street, field, huge field, train tracks back there. Now it's buildings and a parking lot. I don't know what the hell's over there.
Right.
But the cops come over. They come to the back of the firehouse and they're like, "Hey, we got all these cop cars with fireworks in here. We took them. We raided the Coney over here, raided some party stores and shit. Took them back to the station. My sergeant said, 'You guys just want to take care of them?' And we're all like, 'Yeah, of course we'll take care of them.'
Hell yeah.
So they clean out these cop cars, and I got all these fireworks there. I mean, tons. So, like I said, we were working the 2nd. I know I'm working 4th of July. And I know the other guy with me is working. My senior guy, he'll be there with me on the 4th. And the lieutenant, who's really cool, he'll be there also on the 4th. And because it's a holiday, nobody's going to call off because it was triple time back then. And you're going to have extra men. So they'll probably, since we're at chief quarters, even detail a guy to us, you know. So we got all these fireworks in. Me and the lieutenant and the other guy and another guy. I think we were only maybe 3 that day. So we all split it all up. Split all the fireworks up. And we tell the cops, "Hey, next day is 4th of July. You guys working 4th of July, you know, 2 days 4th of July. We're working. We'll be here. You guys working? You're like, yeah, we got to work. Like, why don't you come over here for a barbecue? We'll repay you guys. We'll light off a bunch of these fireworks too in the back field. And we'll have a big old barbecue.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, man, we'll do that. So we all divide up. I'm telling you, man, we had everything. We had big old rolls of firecrackers that if you light it, it goes on for like 10 minutes.
Damn.
And papers everywhere. Like we had the top shit.
Yes,
man.
go.
Top shit.
All confiscated shit.
So, also back then, I want to let everybody know I'm not throwing out any names or anything like that, but that time, I don't think the fire department is like this now. I have no idea, but at that time, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
All we did was we fought fires, and you know we did some other things too, but like our main goal was busy for fires.
Yeah,
and so, the 4th comes around, and some of us like to have, you know, it's the 4th of July. We like to have some drinks, you know, so we get all the work done. Where I was running at that time was slow too.
Okay.
Very slow. Usually nothing much going on.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky to get a fire here. And I shouldn't say lucky, but, you know, you'd be lucky that you might be staying at the firehouse for a couple days or for your shift, you know.
Shit in the city was good.
Huh?
Shit in the city as far as fires was good.
Well, just time. There, because that's south of Jefferson and all that. Everything was already been burnt out. They were a different company. I don't know the construction companies now. I won't even say it, but maybe they were building back there and people were getting burnt out. Mostly everything was burnt out and gone.
Yeah.
So, and plus there was some other stations that were closer in neighborhoods. So we were a little slower.
Your water's right here too.
So the 4th comes around and, you know, we get our work done, morning routine, and go shopping. Every day you would have to pay the cook. And the cook will go out and shop. At that time, it was maybe $10-12 a day you'd have to pay the cook. And if it was a holiday, everybody gave extra. Mm-hmm. And plus we knew the police were coming. I think one of us got extra shit the day before. And so it's beautiful 4th of July, and we're probably out there washing our cars and shit, setting up for the night. We have a fire pit back there. We have everything going on. We're probably having a couple beers or a couple pops. Mm-hmm. We'll edit that beep. We're probably having a couple pops. You know, we're probably doing our thing. Things are getting wild. We do have an extra guy, and the extra guy is a classmate of mine, too. Mm-hmm. So it's me, my classmate, the senior guy.
You're talking about the academy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me, my classmate, the senior guy, the driver, the FEO, and then the lieutenant. We're all working that shift at that house. So we're getting set up for the party, too. Salads, fucking pops on ice, all types of Cuba Libras, all types of stuff. You know, we're having a good day. And at that time, it's very slow. We weren't doing anything most of I don't think we had a run that whole day or night. We end up having fireworks, a firework fight between us. We're shooting fireworks throughout the firehouse at each other. Through Roman candles, we're throwing smoke bombs in the dorm, shutting the doors on people. Like, we're raiding other firehouses. We have an FEO at the time who's insane. He's crazy. The boss, the lieutenant, a great guy. He had a brother who was even wilder than him. And we raiding other firehouses with buckets of water. We'll go in there. They won't see us. It'll be a beautiful day. We're run in there, throw a bucket of water on somebody, shoot fireworks at them, run away, leave. We're playing pranks on all these firehouses this day. Starts to wind down, barbecuing, doing all that. Well, after that, we take a little nap, every fireman has to take a nap, take a couple hour nap, wind down, start getting everything together. It's dark time. We're probably having a few more pops, you know. We're lighting off fireworks. Here comes 3 cop cars of cops. They show up. And they come and party, have a little barbecue, light off fireworks in the back.
Drink a couple pops.
Maybe they drink a couple pops, you know.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, you know, we want to go on a ride on the fire engine. That's an engine, not a truck, because we carry water. We don't have a big ladder on it. A ladder is a truck, you know, a squad's a squad.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, you know. So all the cops pile in. The one senior guy, he stays back. I think the boss, he goes with them. The driver. My classmate goes to hold on to the back. And I go to hold on. And I tell him, I say, hey, don't hold on to the back. This is so-and-so driving. Yeah. Like, trust me. Let's climb in the back of the bed. In the back and lay down. Yeah. So we lie down in the back of the bed. Now we're driving around the city. Lights and sirens. All around the city. We're not going anywhere. We're just taking the cops for a ride.
Balls and whistles. So
all around. Yeah. And they're loving it.
Yeah.
You know, we're letting them blow the horn and shit. We're laying on our backs like that. on a bunch of hose and
so a bunch of bitches.
No, on a bunch of, you know, fire hose. We're laying on a bunch of fire hose, looking up at the sky.
So fiery,
flying around the city at night. Beautiful time.
Yeah.
So we get back, and they were geeked. So they say to the boss, they say, hey, this has been a great night, man. Everything you guys done for us. We want to pay the favor. Let's take you guys on a raid.
What the fuck?
Yep. And we're like, what? And they're like, yeah, man, listen. And my boss is like, don't you need like a warrant and shit for that? And they're like, well, no, man, like any house the city owns or something, or back on taxes or something. We have some neighborhoods in here, you know, some houses that we know we can hit at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And the boss is like, well, I can't go. And I think the senior guy, he's like, no, I'm not going. And driver's like, no, I'm not going. And me and my buddy were like, shit, we want to go. You know?
I want to see this shit.
We want to see what the fuck happens.
What the fuck?
So the Lou's like, hey, you can take the young guys. And they're like, all right. So we walk out, and like I said, it's dead end on Hart. And they're like, hang on, wait, we got to go get the bitch.
Go get the bitch.
So they go across the street to sign out a shotgun.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, bro. He comes back and they're like, we're gonna hit Big Mama's house or something like that, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Local prostitute or something that runs shit or something. I don't know what it is. I'm just making this shit up. Whoever it is. It was something like along those lines.
Yeah.
Or it's running something on the east side. We hit her all the time, whatever, you know. And sure as shit, they put a bulletproof vest on us each, and they give us each a pair of handcuffs, and they make us go last. So we pull up at the house all stealthy. We're in the cars. We jump out. They kick the door in. I see a chick run by naked, just screaming.
Oh my God.
I see guys at a table going up. They fucking go in, get everybody down and shit. They take my one classmate, push him to one room to the left. They take me with another guy, push me upstairs. It's just me and this shit. It's just me and this other guy.
Damn. Going up the stairs.
And he turns around, hands me the flashlight. He's like, shine the light. So it's like a 2-family flat, you know? Mm-hmm. So we're going upstairs, just us up there. He's got his gun out, and I'm just shining it behind him, like wherever he's going, he's clear the room. We go back downstairs. They're like, they arrest the guy because he was a felon with a gun. That's the only person they arrest out of there. They tossed the shit out of the place, you know.
Did they find anything?
Just the dude has a gun. The one dude, I don't know. They arrest him. I remember they're like, they tell my classmate, put your handcuffs on him. He puts his handcuffs on him. The room is tossing. They pull him out. He's like, yeah, anything you find, you take. So my classmate sees a few bucks. It's like $16 sitting on the bed from them tossing it. And he grabs that. He said, we're going to need beer later. We're going to need pop money later.
You're going to need pop money later.
So, yeah, we do all that. We leave. They take us back. And my buddy's like, they take us back. At this time, I can't remember what time it is, but I want to say it's maybe before midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So we get back there. We're all sitting around the bonfire, and we finish up all the pops.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops are like, shit, man, that's all right. We'll go get some more. We'll be right back. And we're like, all right, where are you going? You going to go to the store right down here or whatever? We'll try to give you some money or whatever. And they're like, no, we're going to go to Belle Isle, and we're going to start grabbing coolers and raiding people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what? They're like, yeah, we're going to go to Belle Isle. And no bullshit, man. They drove to Belle Isle. They came back about 20 minutes later. Different type of coolers. One's wheeling one. One's carrying one. All different arrays of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Of pops.
Yeah.
You know?
All type of shit.
Yeah.
They're all different flavors. Fagos.
And now we're sitting out there. Yeah, all the different Fagos. Grape. They got grape. They got orange. They got rock and rye. They got
red pop.
So now it's like winding down. We're still probably shooting fireworks off at this time. I mean, there's papers everywhere. The place looks like a war zone. You know, there's fucking a mess everywhere. Nobody's
cleaning.
Yeah, nobody's cleaning. Everybody's still up around the bonfire.
I thought this was a good story.
And now that runs out. That pops run out.
Yeah.
So the cops leave. Everybody's kind of done for the night, but me and my classmate, we tell the boss, hey, we gotta go run the store real quick. So now we go run to the store, and I got this 4-door like Caprice with a baby seat in the back. And we're driving around, we see a store, go in, come out, get in the car, come back. And my classmate's in the passenger seat, and he says something like, fuck you, or how much for your bitch, or something. I don't know if he was saying it to the music or whatever, but at the same time, there's a guy and a girl as we're passing.
Oh, no.
And they say something. He's like, what? He's like, spin back around. They're saying something. And so he spin back around, and he's got like M80s and stuff. And he pulls back up, and he's like, hey, what'd you say to us? And the guy's like, hey, what'd you say to us or something? And they're going back and forth for a minute. And the guy from around the back takes a full 40-ounce bottle and chucks it right at him. And it hits my classmate in the shoulder, slides around his back, hits me in the shoulder, and lands in the baby seat full.
What the fuck?
So at the same time, my classmate lights 2 M80s, throws them out the window, and I just take off. They jump out of the way, run, take off, go back to the station. Never had a run all day and night. Stayed up a little longer. I don't think still anybody went to bed. Had to clean up the whole place. Sun's rising. And that was a day on the fire department. A good day.
That was a good day.
Nobody died. It was, man, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for telling that story.
Hell yeah.
You think so?
Some
people are going to get mad about that.
They probably still work there. They're like, hey, motherfucker,
man,
he's talking about me.
Some of them guys are dead and gone.
Yeah, they're retired. Yeah, you are a little.
And it's not like that now. I want everybody to know it's not like that now.
Yeah, that was back in the day.
That was a long time ago. That was 20-some years ago.
Over 20-some years ago.
So
that should the time on that what's the name anyway? It says thought you farted.
They picked that up on the mic. You thought bitch I farted?
I thought he farted all of this.
All right, man. You want to get out of here?
Yeah, man. Yeah, this was a good episode, man. I like this, man. I think we touched on a lot of good points, man. Yeah,
I love all you guys out there. Thank you for making us the #1 podcast.
Hell yeah, man.
We appreciate it. Thank you to Bishop.
Yeah, nothing.
And hopefully we'll be getting interviews together soon.
Yeah, man. This is an excellent episode. The real mask off.
What up, though, y'all? It's your boy Austin.
I'm Alex. You're tuned into the Real Mask Off Podcast, where real talk lives.